What's good? This is Trey. Welcome to this presentation. The topic for today is how to influence people. All right? How to influence people. How to move people. How to get people to move in the direction you want them to move. How to get people to take the action you want them to take. Right? How to get people to understand you. How to get people to see your point. You do this by becoming a powerful communicator. And another way to look at this, powerful communicator simply means a kind of man who communicates in a way that moves people emotionally. You create feelings in people. You want to become the kind of man that when you speak, people can feel it. They can feel what you're saying. And the better you get at that, the more influential you'll become. Now, you got to be artistic about this, right? We got to pay attention. We got to get outside of ourselves and look at how people are seeing us, right? That's why you need to put yourself out there, man. You need to start communicating more, talking to more people. Go and have conversations with people you normally wouldn't talk to. Get different perspectives. Really listen to people when you're talking to them. We got to get outside of ourselves. We're too stuck in our heads. We have too many assumptions about shit, and we try to see things through our own lens. We got to create a more accurate lens that we're seeing things through. And the only way to get to this point is to open up. You got to be more vulnerable. You got to be more authentic and have these authentic conversations and be willing to receive constructive criticism. Right? If somebody tells you, nah, what you're saying, man, doesn't make any sense or something like that, don't get butthurt and say, man, you're stupid, man, you don't understand it. No, try to see how you can communicate in a way where that person understands you. Like, one thing about women we got to understand is they speak a certain type of language. Like, that's why when you communicate to a woman, sometimes she's not understanding you, or you're creating the wrong effect because you're not speaking her language. You have to get around women. You got to go out and talk to women. That's why I recommend cold approach, because when you go out and cold approach women, you get to understand them more, because you're having conversations with strangers, and these strangers don't give a fuck about you. She's gonna respond how she really wants to respond. Like, when a girl is your friend or in your social circle, stuff like that, they're filtering their communication because they don't want to violate the social circle. But when you go out and approach women, cold approach, they're gonna respond how they truly feel about you, right? So if a woman responds in a positive way, that means you're doing something good. Give yourself props. Right? But if you go out and you're approaching women and they're all giving you negative response, that means you're doing something wrong and you have work to do. And you just got to man up and say, okay, I got work to do. Let me work on this shit. Let me stop running away from my problems. Let me stop making excuses. Let me stop blaming other people. Let me handle my shit so I can get the results I want. So if you want to influence people more, you got to become a more powerful communicator. That means you need to make sense to people. That means when you communicate, they need to feel you. Right? They need to feel. Matter of fact, you really want to be a great communicator, like more influential. When you speak, people need to get better somehow. They need to acquire some more knowledge about some shit, or they need to feel better. There needs to be a value when you communicate. People need to experience something valuable about being around you, valuable about listening to you. Like, what value are they getting? Right? We need to start focusing on what we want, and we need to focus on giving people what they want, because when you give people what they want, they will give you what you want. Especially if you get really good at over delivering. That's why you really want to cultivate. Look at your gifts, look at your talents, look at your skills. What are you good at? And really just level it up, beast it out. And then put your value into the world. And watch how people will respond, man. People will want your value. Right? When it's at a high level. If it's at a low level, nobody gives a fuck. But if it's at a high level, people want more of it. You're gonna see. Women are gonna start responding to you differently when you start showing your value. And focusing on how can people benefit from my communication, from my expression. Right? That's what you want to do. You want to see, how is my existence making the world a better place? Am I just here taking up space, or is my communication and what I'm doing making a difference? Because if it is, people will start responding to you in a positive way. People will want you around. People will make time for you. People will give you money. People will pay for your food. People will help you out. You know what I mean? People will give you opportunities because they see your value. So you got to show your value. You kind of, in a sense, it's like you kind of got to show off. You know, one of the things about me, I had to learn how to show off a little bit more, not too much. You don't want to be like too cocky or too full of yourself, but you got to show your value, man. You can't keep your value in, or else nobody's gonna know your value. Nobody's gonna know how you benefit them, right? So you got to show it, man. You got to put it on display. Stop holding back. Just express, man. Let it out. And cultivate and become a my bad. And get some water. Fuck it. Become a master at what you do. Right? Like, figure out what area, what field can I become a master in? Because if you become a master at something, that's your value. You show up and you demonstrate your mastery of your subject, the mastery of your field, mastery of your craft. That's your value. That's what people are going to respond to, that, right? When you show up, people, you want to show up, when you show up, people start smiling and getting happy because they know they're going to benefit, right? You're going to make them feel good, or you're going to create some experience for them, some amazing experience, or you're going to do something that others can't do, right? You got to embrace your uniqueness. What is unique about you? That's how you influence people, not by being the same, not by being a sheep, right? Stop trying to fit in. Stand out, but calibrate your standoutness. Calibrate it so that it actually benefits the environment and doesn't violate it, right? Like, you got to understand your environment. You got to calibrate your communication to your environment. Like, certain places, you know, I calibrate my communication depending on where I am. Certain places it's a chill vibe, so I'm chill. I'm chilling. Certain places it's more loud, it's more expressive, so I'm loud, I'm expressive, right? You got to know your environment. And how can I contribute? How can I make this place, how can I make people feel better than they did before they met me? That's influence. That's how you influence people. They're paying attention to how you make them feel. Right? So what's the feeling? What's the vibe? You want to become powerful in your communication. You want to become an emotional communicator, right? I used to be a very logical communicator, and people would just like, it's funny, like I would make logical points and shit like that, but I was too boring with it. Like I used to be monotone and shit. Like I used to be, yeah. So if you want to influence people, you gotta work on your communication, and you gotta be emotional. Like even if what I'm saying is true, if it's boring, if it's not, you know, if there's no energy to it, if you can't feel me, then you're just like, yo, shut up, man. I mean, I'm just real about this shit. I understand that. I'm aware. So I worked on my communication. I worked on my presentation skills. I worked on these different things. Because you got to show up with value, man. There's so much going on in the world. There's 7 billion people. 7 billion people, man, all trying to get the attention, right? If there's a specific girl you're trying to get, you got to remember there's other guys trying to get her attention. You can't just be saying the same shit every other guy's saying. Not going to get her. You're not going to influence her. You got to show up different. And you got to test out your differentness. That's why I love cold approach, because when you go out and approach women, you get to test shit out. You get to see if your value, if women actually want the value that you have. You put it out there and you see how they respond to it. Women, if you have the value that they want, they will kick down your door to get it. If women are not kicking down your door, it just means that you're not communicating enough value. What do I mean by value? It's experiences that they want. It's emotions that they want. It's feelings that they want. How can you create that for them? The way you do that is your art, is what makes you unique. There's different ways to create experiences for women, right? Like if you invite a girl back over to your crib, what's the experience, man? If you go to the club and you have a great time with the girl and then you're like, yo, we should go back to my place. Let's say she says, yeah, let's go. And she goes back to your place. You're just going to fuck her right away? Where's the seduction, man? You got to seduce her. You got to Get her in the mood. What's the vibe? What's going to happen when she goes back to your place? What experience are you going to create for her? What kind of conversation are you going to create for her? Is it going to be, yeah, so did you like the club? Or talk about what you're passionate about. That's why you want to find your passion. In the video I made right before this, I was talking about, yo, you got to find that thing that you're willing to die for, that thing that you love doing, that you're passionate about, and start living a life of passion and love and joy. And stop living in fear. Fuck fear, man. Fear keeps people weak. It keeps people constrained. It keeps people restricted. And it's impossible to tap into your potential if you're living in fear. Impossible. It's not going to happen. You got to live in courage. You got to live in hope. You got to live in faith. Live in peace, joy. And we have the choice to choose these things. That's the thing. It's like we have the choice. Like, just understand that you are not a victim. You are in control of your inner world. The external world, we don't have control over that. That shit's gonna happen. But the inner world, we can control. We can control how we respond to life, how we experience life. I choose to be a man of influence. That means I cultivate my gifts. That means I work on myself every single day. I just cut my wake up time earlier. I used to get up at 4 a.m. Now I get up at 3:45 a.m. Why am I doing that? Because I want to evolve. I want to tap into my potential. I want to keep pushing myself. You notice it's only 15 minutes earlier. But guess what? That adds up if I'm doing it every day. It's that consistency, it's that discipline. So if you want to be more influential in your communication, I say, okay, you need to become more of a powerful communicator. You're like, oh, what do you mean? You need to be able to create emotions in people. Start working on that. How are you going to do that? Demonstrating the value that people want. Start working on that. How can I become more valuable? Let me see if I can look better. Let me see if I can smell better. Let me see if I can, sound better. Let me see if I can create experiences for people that they can't get anywhere else. Let me see if I can become irresistible to women. Let me look at the traits that women look for in a man and let me start developing them as a man. Right? Women like men who are grounded in their masculinity. Let me work on that. Women like men who can express themselves authentically. Let me work on that. Women like men who are evolving and moving, going somewhere in life. Let me work on that. Women love leaders. Let me work on that. Women love dominant men. Women love bold men. Women love risk takers. Women love courageous men. Women love men of power and strength. Women love men of emotional stability. Let me work on these qualities. And let me have fun doing this. It's fun developing your character. It's fun playing a video game and evolving and leveling up. It's fun. That's why they put these aspects in the video game, because it's fun leveling up. But level up doing what you love to do, right? You're not going to play a game that you don't want to play. You play the game you want to play. That means you need to start living the life you want to live so that you are inspired to become more influential, so that you're inspired to become a more powerful communicator. You're inspired to be able to trigger emotions in people, right? Because if you don't give a fuck, if you're not inspired, you're gonna be like, man, that's a waste of my time. You gotta find that thing that's not a waste of your time, that thing you're willing to die for, that thing that you're willing to become the best at, right? What's that thing that you can see yourself doing long term? And then you create a strategy, a plan to get there. My dating life used to suck, and I said, fuck that. Let me do something about it. Let me become more influential. I want to be able to influence women. I want women to see me as a sexual candidate. I want women to look at me and say, I pick him. I will give up my pussy to him. That's what I want. And so I had to work on that. Because the man I was being before, he wasn't getting the job done. I had to become a better trait, a more powerful trait. And that's just what it is. I ain't bullshit about it. I said, yo, let me just do what I gotta do. And I fell in love with the process, man. There's ups and downs. Life doesn't just go easy, it's ups and downs. But when you love what you're doing, when you're passionate about it, it doesn't matter. You enjoy the goddamn roller coaster. Roller coaster would be boring as fuck if it just went like this the whole time. It goes up and down. But because you choosing to have the experience, you love it. That's why you got to choose the kind of life you want to live. Don't just conform. Don't just be complacent. Don't just go with the flow. Make a decision. Make a conscious decision. This is the life I want to live. This is what I'm going after. This is the future I'm creating. And that's just what it is. So becoming more influential, becoming a better communicator, more emotional communicator, right? If this is something that you value, I have a program. It's called the Unbreakable Beast Program. And in this program, I give you my process. There are certain activities, certain actions that I'm taking on a daily basis that help me to embody this beingness, right? This unbreakable beast that I'm talking about, being grounded in your masculinity, being more authentic in your expression, more of a leader. These qualities, there is a process to developing these qualities. There's a process to handling your dating life. There's a process to becoming the most attractive version of yourself, right? And I show you my process. I give you my routine and I hold you accountable. I help you to become this version of yourself because it's not easy, especially if you're going to do it on your own. You can do it on your own, of course, but it's not easy. That's why I provide my support. That's why I created this program, because I'm here to support you and help you become that version of yourself, right? But you got to step up. You got to be committed. You got to say, yo, I'm ready to go, Trey. I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to invest in myself, right? I'm done. I'm sick and tired of this condition. I want to go and create a new condition. I want to create the life I truly want to live, right? And that's you. That's you stepping up. And then I show up and I say, well, hey, brother, I'll show you the path. I'll show you how to do it. Let's do it. Right? So 2 choices. You can take the information in this video, go and apply it, and it will change your life if you apply it. But if you'd like support, if you'd like to work together one-on-one, right? Join the Unbreakable Beast program. It's an 8-week program. We're working together for 8 weeks. We're jumping on a call each week. I'm holding you accountable. I'm giving you action steps you can take that are going to help you achieve your goals in regards to your dating life and also becoming the man that you want to be and creating the lifestyle you want to live. And I'm holding you accountable for 8 weeks. In 8 weeks, you're going to be a beast, man. You're going to be grounded in your masculinity. You're going to be more able to express yourself authentically. You're going to be more of a leader. You're going to be on your purpose, right? You're going to feel more clear. You're going to feel more powerful, right? You're going to experience more intense emotions. You're going to experience peace. You're going to experience joy. You're going to experience sadness sometimes, but you're also going to experience confidence. You're going to experience courage. You're going to have these different, life is going to get entertaining, bro. Life is going to become a movie, and that's what you want. You want your life to be a movie. You don't want to live this boring ass life nobody gives a fuck about, right? You want to live a life that you truly love, so you can truly say, I love my life. That's where you want to get to, and that's the unbreakable beast. That's the beast that says, I don't give a fuck what anybody else is doing. My life is important. I'm going to live a life I love. And when you get to this place, you can inspire others too. Once you do it for you, you can help others do it too. That's where I'm at, right? I became a beast. I handled my life. I handled my dating life. I handled my business. And now I want to share that energy. I want to share that joy. I want to share that love. I want to share this experience with other men. And that's what I'm doing. And you can do it too in your own way. You figure out your lane. Everybody has their lane. Everybody has their path in life. And my thing is, I want to inspire men to step into their purpose. That's my passion. Because I was on the other side of the spectrum. I was the guy who was living in the shadows. I was the guy who felt like he had no hope. I was the guy who was being looked past, being laughed at, right? Despite what you think about me now, man, I was not always this guy. I used to be shy. I used to be lacking self-esteem. I used to, you know what I mean? I used to be passive, right? I used to be timid. I used to be lacking masculinity. And I said enough is enough. I got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. And I made a decision to change it. I started working on myself. And I did it through cold approach. I went out and approached women, man. I know people say, oh, where you get your confidence? I went out and approached women because that shit is not easy, man. You know, you got to deal with the fear of rejection. You got to deal with the fear of judgment. You got to deal with, you know, people watching you, and you got to deal with your limiting beliefs and all this stuff. But imagine what happens when you overcome all of that. You become a beast, man. Your confidence is unbreakable. It's unshakable. Nobody can touch you, right? And you create the life you want to live. So that's the Unbreakable Beast program. It's $9.97 and it's 8 weeks. It's me and you working together one-on-one. If you're interested, hit me up and I'll give you the details. Thanks for watching. Peace.